Okay, so we're still talking about angles, but now we're talking about angles of triangles. There's some vocabulary here that we have seen before. I see this word interior that goes with interior angles. We learned when we were doing the transversal diagrams that interior spoke to the inside of the parallel lines, okay? Interior angles of triangles are those angles inside the triangle. So, a theorem that you need to know is that the measure of all three angles of a triangle have to equal 180 degrees. So the measure of angle A plus angle B plus angle C all has to equal 180 degrees total. So, if they give us a triangle and they give us two of the angle measures, we can find the third angle measure. First, you have to add the two angles that they gave you. They gave us 55 and 72. And 55 plus 72 is, what is that, 127? Okay, and then we subtract this sum from the 180. And 180 minus 127 is 53 degrees. So the measure of the unknown angle is 53 degrees, this angle right here. And then I'm just going to double check myself, make sure that I'm right. If I add 55 plus 72 plus 53 should equal 180 degrees. All right. The next example, you add the two angles that they give you. So I'm going to add 82 plus 53, and that equals 135. And then 180 minus 135 is 45 degrees. So the measure of the third angle is 45 degrees right here. So let's just check 82 plus 53 plus 45 hopefully does equal 180 degrees. Alright, so very simple. I'm going to add the two angles together that they gave me. 85 plus 40 is 125, and then 180 minus 125 is 55 degrees. Alright, same thing. I'm going to do 14 plus 30, that equals 44 degrees, and then you do 180 minus 44. That equals 136 degrees. Easy breezy. Add the two angles that they give me. 55 plus 51 equals 106. 55 plus 51 equals 106. And then I'm going to do 180 minus 106. That equals 74 degrees. Same process all the way through. I'm just going to do it by calculator for the rest of this sheet. 23 plus 141, that equals 164. And then I'm going to do 180 minus 164. That equals 16 degrees for that little angle right there. The next one, 64 plus 76, that equals 140, and 180 minus 140 equals 40 degrees. And the last one on this page, 32 plus 36, that equals 68 degrees. 180 minus 68 degrees, that equals 112 degrees. So you add, and then you subtract from 180. Pretty simple. Okay, let's see what's on the next page here. Find the value of each variable. All right, this is really the same thing that we've been doing. They just, instead of putting a question mark, they put a variable there. No big deal. Still going to be the same process. I'm still going to do 55 plus 60. That equals 115. And then I'm going to do 180 minus 115. And that equals 65 degrees. Now you could, and maybe we should start talking about that, we could do this algebraically using InSolve. I could do menu 3-1, and I could say, okay, 55 plus 60 plus x has to equal 180 degrees, and then do comma x. And it'll give me this answer. So you could, on these, do menu 3-1, since they're using variables. And you could do, for this one, remember, this is a right angle, so this is 90 degrees. So I could do 90 plus 50 plus y has to equal 180 degrees, and then do comma y. Right? So if I InSolved it, that would be menu 3-1, and then type 90 plus 50 plus y has to equal 180 degrees, and then do comma y. And that equals 40 degrees. You can really do it either way when it's given to you as simple as this. I could say 110 plus 40 equals 150. And then 180 minus 150 is 30 degrees. Or I could do InSolve, and I could say menu 3-1, and I could say 110 plus 40 plus an r plus r has to equal 180 degrees, and then do comma r. And gives me 30. Either way, on something as simple as this, you can do what we were doing on the first page and add them up and then subtract, or you could InSolve like this. All right. The next part of the worksheet talks about exterior angles. Now, if you remember when we did the transversal diagram, we talked about exterior being on the outside of the parallel lines. Well, the exterior angle is right here, outside of the triangle. Okay? So the remote interior angles are the two interior angles that are not next to the exterior angle. So the remote interior angles to angle D are right here, A and B. They're the furthest away, remote, right? They're remote from angle D, and they are inside the triangle. Those are remote interior angles. All right? So in this triangle, it says angles A and B are the remote interior angles to angle D. All right? Here's your theorem. Angle A and angle B added together have to equal angle D. The two remote interior angles equal the angle on the outside, the exterior angle. All right? So let's look down here at this example. You can find the measure of angle DEF by subtracting from 180. Okay, so we could do 47 plus 30, right, equals 77. And then 180 minus 77 is 103. This is 103 degrees. Okay, that's what we were doing on the other page. So let's look at this. Find the measure of angle Y. All right, there's a couple of different ways to do it. We'll do it the way they have it here first. Oh, okay, they're using the theorem that the two remote interior angles have to equal the exterior angle, so that's why they're adding 85 plus 65, the two remote interior angles, okay? And 85 plus 65 is 150 degrees. So this angle right here is 150 degrees. Now, if I want to know the measure of angle X, I'm going to take this sum, right, and subtract from 180. That's what we've been doing this entire worksheet. So 180 minus 150 equals 30 degrees. So this angle right here is 30 degrees. We can double check and just make sure, because 85 plus 65 plus 30 should equal 180, right? So 85 plus 65 plus 30 does equal 180 degrees. The other thing that your teachers will probably point out to you is that this little angle plus this bigger angle here make this straight line across here. It's called a straight angle, and it's 180 degrees. So this 150 plus 30 equals that straight angle of 180 degrees. And that is the lesson for today. The big takeaway from this lesson is that the angles of a triangle have to add up, the interior angles have to add up to 180 degrees. And then the second part is, if you have an exterior angle outside of the triangle, the two furthest interior angles away from it added together would equal this angle. And that is the lesson.